Once again, it's time for Impact Moment. Hi, I'm Alvin right here on DC and I think this is going to be a great conversation because I just feel the vibe because I have with me Jennifer Clinton from Cultural Vistas. How you doing, Jennifer?
I'm doing great, Alvin. Thanks for having me today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Let's talk about the great things that Cultural Vista does.
So we are, Cultural Vistas is a nonprofit organization based in DC. And really our mission is about equipping the next generation of global leaders to solve complex challenges. And we know that our world is full of complex challenges, and we believe that really a better future and the ability to create a better future means developing better leaders. So that's what we're all about. And we do that through providing international exchange and educational experiences for people to get a better sense of perspectives, new knowledge that they gain through study or work abroad experiences.
So I was going to ask the next question, but I kind of understand it, but I just want you to talk about it, and that is the difference that your organization does and how it plays a different part more so than other organizations.
What makes us unique is this sort of global community that we bring together and fostering that strong network of leaders that really believe in the power of bringing people together to exchange ideas, knowledge, and perspectives in order to create a better future. So we're really proud of, the thousands of people that we've served over our 60-year history, and also really proud of how we foster those sort of global local connections.
Let's talk about some of the statistics, because I know that over the years you have been able to get information and see information. So let's talk about some of the things that Cultural Vistas and that you and the rest of the organization have been able to find out.
6 out of 10 people today believe that there's a greater divisiveness in their country than there was 10 years ago. And in the United States, that number is even higher. It's 85% of people believe that there's more divisiveness today than even 10 years ago. And so that, the world, and we see it both home and abroad, this polarization, the divisiveness that's happening where people are sitting in their echo chambers, people are not even talking to each other anymore if they have different beliefs and different worldviews. And our impact, there's kind of two big statistics from the results of our programs that we run. I'll give an example of a particular program that brings young people, graduate students from Central Europe, Eastern Europe, and Central Asia. So we're talking about Russia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, some of the post-Soviet republics. They come and spend a summer working, many of them working in Washington, D.C., doing internships in D.C. And a lot of the emphasis on our work with them is about building those intercultural skills, that cultural fluency, so that they have a better understanding of Americans, and Americans have a better understanding of them. And 95% of them report that they actually have a more positive view of the US and a more positive view of their colleagues from those different countries, that there's a lot of conflict in that region of the world. So that makes a big difference in just having a 3-month experience that's exposing them to those different perspectives. The other question that we ask of those participants is, what are you going to do with this experience when you go back? So we talked about leadership and the importance of building better leaders for a better tomorrow, is that they believe 85% of them say that they are going to take this experience, go back to their home countries, and really make a meaningful, positive difference in their home communities. And so those are the types of leaders that we're really trying to foster, and the perspectives of being able to navigate difference and embrace difference, embrace diversity as people advance in their careers. Those are the types of leaders that we're trying to cultivate and foster.
Wow, that's so important. Here's the part where it's kind of difficult and I feel kind of mean. I'm going to ask you to narrow down to just one experience that's been going on with Cultural Vistas that talks about the great things that you're doing.
Great question. So I'm going to give an example of a project that's going on right now as we speak. And it is about bringing leaders together from the US, many of whom are DC based, with leaders from Germany, all around the topic of how do we develop an inclusive culture of remembrance, meaning both in the US and Germany, there is quite a bit of challenges that both countries have faced around how do we represent our past. So in DC, we've had lots of conversations, protests around just even national monuments that represent our past, particularly the past of our history of slavery in this country. And in Germany, it's a very similar thing of how do you represent the history of Nazi Germany? How do you develop, how do you represent the past in a responsible way, in an inclusive way that doesn't suppress what actually happened? And I revert back to a wonderful piece that Michelle Norris wrote just last week in the Washington Post. It was a long piece about how the US has a lot to learn from Germany and the way in which we portray our past and our past with respect to slavery, and that, too much, and it's been too long the case that we really suppressed, whether it be through monuments, whether it be through what we learn in our history classes. Take the example of the Tulsa massacre. Many people are learning after 100 years about that experience just right now. And, our role in bringing these leaders together is that they can both learn from each side about what are best practices, what are challenges that they've both encountered in representing that inclusive past.
So what you and the rest of the folks over at Cultural Vistas, and I love that name, all different cultures being able to be seen, to be heard, to be understood. I just want to thank you from myself and all the folks here at DCTV for all you do. Thank
you. And we're very much open to developing new partnerships with organizations throughout the DC metro area. And, it's a global city, and the more people we can engage in sort of those global conversations, we want to be engaging. So feel free to reach out to me. Our website is www.culturalvistas.org, and love to explore how we can work together. So once again, all I have to say at this point is I'm Alvin Jones, and thank you for watching Impact Moment.